I got to a point where I'm like, I hate that I'm a person who has to be on medicine to be the person that I wanna be.
Yeah. I don't know. I would when I first started taking medication, I remember saying to my therapist, and I might have even said this to you, of like I felt like I was taking medication to be who other people wanted me to be. Like so I
Oh.
could be sane for other people.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Having a Mentee Be with Sarah and Kim. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kim, and today we're here to talk about how it feels to be people who regularly take medication.
We're talking about drugs today.
Drugs.
The legal kind. We'd like to start by clarifying that we're by no means mental health experts. This is our own individual takes on our own mental health challenges because we've both been dealing with mental health since we were young adults. Hey, Kim.
Hey Sarah, how are you?
Good. You ready to dish some mentee tea? Wait, that sounded
Yes.
weird. Pour? How do you,
Pour
what do you do with
pour the tea.
pour the
Yes, it's
tea?
definitely pouring the tea. Yeah, so it's been a minute since we have podcasted, a couple of months.
Months? So,
So I don't know, I feel like a lot has happened.
like, if
Like,
we're being real, it's been 4 months since we
has it been
podcasted.
4 months?
4 months minus 1 week.
Yeah, okay. So it's definitely been a minute. But yeah, I feel like a lot has happened since then. Like mental health journey wise. Some of that obviously we'll be talking about in today's episode, but the tea right now is that I feel okay, like I feel fine, but there was a minute there in the middle that was not that great.
Yes, I remember I asked you if you wanted to podcast,
Yeah.
and you said, "No, I do not wish to remember this."
Yeah, well, it was
Well,
more of like I didn't feel like so when I get depressed, I tend to disassociate from my feelings and I
mm,
don't want to
and you
talk
didn't
about
wanna
them.
talk about your feelings. So it
Right,
wasn't that you
yeah.
didn't wanna remember, it was that you didn't want to acknowledge.
Yeah, and, I tend to be very apathetic and, like, tuned out of everything,
Okay.
and so I was kind of going through that for a minute, which was a little bit scary because that hasn't happened to me in a minute.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess the tea for today is I've been going to therapy weekly, so I upped
Okay.
my therapy, which has been really good, um, especially because I was going through, like, a depressive episode, um, but I feel much better in the last couple weeks than I
Good.
had for a minute.
Good.
Yeah, so we're kind of on the back end. How
We're
about
in the
you?
upswing again.
Yeah, we're on the upswing again. How about you? How have you been?
I've been good mentally. I've had, like, a bunch of crappy health stuff, so
Yeah,
I've had, like, biopsies and, colonoscopies and endoscopies and
yeah,
lots of fun things, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with my blood, but my brain is good.
yeah. That's good, and I feel like you've been able to maintain that despite
Yeah.
some challenging.
Well, and it's weird because, like, my mental health professionals are like, "It's okay if your weight is not, like, perfect because you need some fat to help you metabolize your meds."
Mhm.
And then I have my other doctors being like, "You need to lose some weight."
Right.
So, here we are.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
Yeah. But that's it for the tea for me. It's kind of not very exciting.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, so today we are talking about medication, of
Okay.
which we both
Partake,
partake. Yeah, different types of medications, but kind of with the same goal.
sometimes willingly, sometimes begrudgingly.
Yes. So when did you start how long have you been taking medication? I don't actually know if I know the answer to that.
I have been taking medication since I was 23.
Okay, so a long time then.
Solid 20 years.
But you were if I remember right from another episode when we talked about this, you said you did medication first, right? You didn't do the medication plus therapy combo, is that right?
No, I went the meds route before I
Okay.
went to therapy.
Okay, alright, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I resisted therapy. I was dragged kicking and screaming against my will.
Yes, I do remember you saying that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the opposite. I've only been on medication, well, like mental health medication, I have only been on for like 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've struggled with mental health challenges since I was younger, but
Yeah.
it took me a long time to reach a point where I was willing to try anything, like
Yeah.
medication or therapy. So when I started taking medication, I did therapy at around the same time. No, you know what? Actually, I started therapy first.
Are you
And
serious?
then, yeah, I started therapy first and I went to therapy for a while before I started taking medication. And then my therapist gave me a referral to like a behavioral health medicine clinic.
Okay.
And that's when I started taking meds. But yeah, so I have only been taking medication for about 5 years. So comparatively a shorter time.
Yeah. Um, so then before you started taking your meds, did you ever, like, self-medicate?
Um, so I would say yes, but not with well, I guess with some alcohol, but I think my self-medicating was usually food-based. I very much used
Mm,
food to try to make myself feel better. Now I know that that is much less severe than so I don't know. I guess I did use alcohol a little bit, just not to a point where I ever felt like I didn't have control of it.
mm.
Whereas, like, I know my sister and my older brother both did. They both struggled with self-medicating through, um, well, legal and illegal substances. But yeah, I don't think I ever did that. I think I've tried to fill the void with food a lot of times. What about you?
I very successfully filled the void with food.
Yeah.
Um, no, I I did drink a lot more when I was in my
Yeah.
20s.
Yeah, me too.
Um, and if I was having a bad day, like, a bottle of wine would take the edge off.
Yeah.
And then I say that now and I'm like, "Oh, not a glass of wine, a bottle.
Yeah.
That's healthy." Not.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, I don't drink that much anymore, but it's one of those things where I just I know it's a slippery slope. Like, my grandpa, who is also bipolar, struggled with mixing pills and alcohol,
Yeah.
and there's, like I have this thought that, like, I need to be very conscientious about that because I don't wanna go down that road.
Right, I know what you mean. That's what so my brother did the same thing, the pills and alcohol
Yeah.
thing, which, to be quite frank, he still does not do any kind of, like, therapy or anything like that, even though I would argue that he needs it, but, he has stopped self-medicating at least.
Well, that's
But
something.
he self-medicated pretty heavily through most of his 20s and 30s with various different things, but yeah, his go-to at a younger age was the prescription medications that were not necessarily his prescription and, alcohol.
Yeah. I never took prescriptions that weren't mine, and I don't think like, from what I hear about my grandpa, he didn't either, but he would, like, stockpile
Okay.
and then, like, use his medicine.
Was he on some, like, pretty heavy duty
Yeah,
medications? Okay.
yeah.
I have a friend that was prescribed benzodiazepines for, their mental health, and he now is struggles a lot with, like, addiction to benzodiazepines, like
I don't even know what those are.
they're like a class of drugs that are highly addictive,
Oh.
but they're a lot of times prescribed to help control, like, anxiety and mental health issues.
Oh, okay.
Um, they're, like, pretty controlled, but he found a way to, like, order them off of Amazon somehow.
Oh my.
Yeah, and then was taking them he said because he wasn't able to sleep, but he doesn't like taking SSRIs because of other withdrawals and side effects that he has with them,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I know the struggle is real for a lot of people out there
Yeah.
with wanting to self-medicate.
And, like, I feel like this leads us into the next question, like, how do you feel about taking medication, and has that changed?
Yeah. Um,
Like, I I can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I like it's this weird juxtaposition where I sought out medicine, but then I also, like, didn't wanna take it because it would, like, mean that there's something wrong with me,
Yeah.
and so, like, I have a very unstable relationship with taking my meds
Mhm.
because, like, even still, like, if I'm being 100% honest, there'll be times when I'm like, "Oh, it's just one day. It's not gonna kill me to miss a day's dose."
Yeah.
Right? Or, like, I used to be like, I went through a phase where I was really good at taking them, but I was really bad at remembering to pick them up from the pharmacy, so then I'd run out, and then I'd feel
Yeah.
sick, and I didn't wanna go through that, and so I would, like, space it out until I had, like, a buffer built
Mhm.
up. It was really messed up.
Yeah.
And, like, I got to a point where I'm like, I hate that I'm a person who has to be on medicine to be the person that I wanna be.
Yeah. I don't know. I would when I first started taking medication, I remember saying to my therapist, and I might have even said this to you, of like I felt like I was taking medication to be who other people wanted me to be. Like so I
Oh.
could be sane for other people because I felt like a lot of the things that my medication was helping me to control were things that only bothered other people and didn't necessarily bother me. Now, obviously my viewpoint on that has changed,
Yeah.
but I felt like me taking medication was so that I could fit some kind of, like, societal norm because my I don't know, I guess I do still kinda feel that way a little bit, not to the degree that I did before, because before I was directly blaming my husband. I was like, "I'm doing this so that I can be who my husband wants me to be,"
Oh, okay.
and now I do have this feeling of, like, I take medication so that I can be neurotypical,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, like, my psychiatrist likes to tell me she likes to use the insulin metaphor, and
Mm,
she was like because I have a nephew who's diabetic, right?
yeah.
And so she's like, "Would you tell your nephew that he's less than for taking his insulin for his diabetes?" And I was like, "No, obviously, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. He needs it to survive." And she's like, "You too need this medicine to survive because your mental health is not stable enough without it for you to stay above water."
Right, but, like, there's this part of me of, like, okay, so let's say it's somebody with type 2 diabetes,
Mhm.
where isn't there a part of you, like, our society and our culture and what we put into our food, like, pushes people along that path towards being a type 2 diabetic?
Well, he's type 1, so,
Right, but I'm thinking of it, like, in terms of, like,
like, are
have
we
we created a society that encourages people to become type 2 diabetic so that
we need the medicine?
yeah, so that we have to take medicines for not necessarily so we have to take medicines, but, like, if you're having support to lead you to a certain outcome. So I kinda think of it like that. Like, our society is not necessarily built for people who are neurotypical or who are
Not ner
non-neurotypical, neurodivergent.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's hard for me to come to terms with that sometimes.
Oh, see
To where I feel like I am in a position that creates a lot of the issues that I struggle with, like having to go to a 9 to 5 job that has, like, a very set schedule and having to change the way that I speak to people to meet some kind of societal expectations instead of being able to be very direct. Like,
hmm,
even if I have no ill intent, people will take it that way. So
that's interesting.
sometimes I struggle with that of like, I'm in this structure that was not made by me, but I have to conform to its rules. And so sometimes I struggle against that a little bit to where I think, am I taking medication so that my brain can function in a way that fits this maze that has been to or this so I can be a cog in this machine that
Okay.
I didn't really want to be a part of anyway.
That's a really interesting perspective because my perspective is, like, 180 different from that.
What is your perspective?
Well, like, for me, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. I know this.
Yeah.
And I know this because at really recently, my meds stopped working and I stopped being able to be a human.
Mhm.
Like, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. And so it wasn't that I couldn't be a cog in the machine, it's that I couldn't be what I wanted to be. Like, I couldn't get up, I couldn't shower, I couldn't have a conversation with another adult.
Yeah.
And I had no joy, and I had no motivation to keep on, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying because and I agree with you because I know from this past month
Yeah.
not being on medication. So that's kind of what prompted this, me wanting to talk about it is because I was trying to get off of my medication. And from not being on it, I can tell you that I had an event that triggered a depressive episode because it picked at an old trauma that I had
Mhm.
and spent several days feeling like I did not want to exist.
Yeah.
So I know that like, I know logically,
Cognitively, you know.
cognitively, logically, rationally, I know that there is some kind of chemical imbalance in my brain that makes it harder for me to be able to access the things that I need to access to be able to function
Mhm.
from a place of happiness, peace, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I question it sometimes, I guess is all I'm saying.
So, I guess I, like, rebel against it when I'm feeling good. Like,
Yes.
when I feel good, I feel like maybe this was an overreaction. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it was.
Mhm.
And, like, there have been times when I have taken myself off my meds
Yeah.
without my medical provider's permission, and then when the crash comes, because it always comes,
Mhm.
then they're like, "Sarah, what were you thinking?" And I was like, "I felt good." And they're like, "Well, of course you felt good. Your medicine was working."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh,
I remember one time you told me, and I think it came from that book Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I can't remember though because it's been so long since I've read it. But I remember one time you said to me, taking medication is like you're in the middle of a downpour, but you have an umbrella. And you're like, I can't
oh,
feel it's not raining. I can't feel the rain or whatever.
I
And
like
that
that metaphor."
you're the one who told me that.
Oh, hey, past self, that's really clever.
And I remember you said, like, the that, of course, you're gonna think when the medication is working, like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm not getting wet." But
Yeah.
the second you take that umbrella away, you're like, "Why am I getting soaked?" It's like, "Well, dummy, because you put your umbrella down and you're in the middle of a thunderstorm
Yeah.
or a
Although, should
rainstorm."
you be holding an umbrella in a
Yeah, that's why
thunderstorm?
that's why I changed it to rainstorm. I had the same thought.
Yeah. So, ooh, here's a good question. How many different medications have you taken for your mental health?
Oh god. Like, all of them. I've
Have you ever done the blood testing where they, like,
The
test
gene
you?
site testing, I
Yeah.
haven't, but my therapist did recommend that I get it done, actually, just recently when I was at my PCP, he said he thought it would be a good idea because, again, I was trying to get off of my medication, and one of the re so there were like, I'll just say, the reason I was trying to get off my medication is because I was thinking about getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, well, I'm 38 years old and I'm overweight. So, in order to give my pregnancy like the best chances, I feel like anything that could interfere, I should get rid of.
Yeah.
Which when I talked to my doctor, he was like, "You have just as high a risk from cortisol overproduction and can cause birth defects, blah, 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 blah." Anyway, but I was like, well, I kind of want to try it. But one of the things he said was because I brought up the fact that my current medication does have some side effects that I don't like. So one of
Mhm.
them being it makes me gain weight.
Yeah.
And then another of them being, oh, I don't even remember what the other thing was. But anyway, um, he said we might look at gene site testing if this
Yeah.
doesn't work out the way you want it to, because then we can maybe nail down more accurately like what medications would work best for you. But I did I did Zoloft, Prozac, uh, what was the one that I was on right before citalopram? What's the other one that ends in it's, like, related to Lexapro.
Oh,
I did
okay.
Lexapro, I did Wellbutrin.
Mhm.
God, I've done so many.
Yeah. You
There've
really
been a
have.
lot. I did the quintiapine for a hot second, but that's more of, like, a mood stabilizer.
Yeah.
I know you've taken a lot. Well,
I've taken a lot too. And full disclosure, I was on low doses of Celexa
mhm.
when I was pregnant with both my daughters,
Yeah.
like, just enough to keep me stable, well, as stable as a pregnant person could be
Yeah.
with all the crazy hormones, but, like, yeah,
And that's
which
what I'm taking, the citalopram Celexa.
yeah. So, that's what I was on when I was pregnant with both my daughters.
Yeah, and my doctor, he very much was like, "We can try it this way. It's up to you." Obviously, he's not gonna, like, force me to take any medications I don't wanna take,
Yeah.
but he's been very supportive of being like, "Whatever you wanna do, I'm good with, but recognize that getting rid of this medication does not necessarily take away any risk.
Yeah.
Like, you're switching out potentially one risk for another risk."
Fair.
And he said that the chances of birth defects while taking,
SSRIs?
SSRIs is extremely low. He
Yeah.
says there's not even concrete evidence that ties, because I read a study that said that there were some preliminary information that tied it to heart defects.
Oh, okay.
So that's what made me nervous about it, and he was
Oh,
like, "The risk is so low, and cortisol production also could result in birth defects." So,
okay. Wow. That's new, the cortisol thing, I didn't know that.
yeah,
I'm
which
like,
I don't know, I'm just going by what I've been
well, sure.
told.
Yeah. Oh, medicines I've taken. I don't even remember the names of the medicines that I've
Yeah,
taken.
it's like
There's
so
been so
many.
many.
Yeah.
Um, I took Celexa for a long
Mhm.
time. I think I took that the longest. The first medicine that I tried was Paxil,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and that made me manic. I didn't sleep for like 3 days.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was in high school then, and my mom was like, "What is happening?"
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was before my diagnosis.
Oh, okay.
That
How did
was
you get on Paxil, like, before your diagnosis?
my doctor thought I was depressed and
Oh.
gave it to me as an antidepressant.
Oh, okay, and it kind of had, like, the opposite effect, like, it
It
sent you into a manic phase?
Mhm. And
Okay.
so, I took, like, 1 or 2 doses of it, and my mother was like, "You are never taking that again." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like, I went from so, like, this time when I was really, really depressed, um I was, like, staying in bed and whatever, whatever, and, I was like that my senior year of high school,
Yeah.
and I went from being, like, semi-comatose in bed to, like, getting up and going over to my cousin's house and, like, cleaning her whole house with,
Yeah.
like, one of her kids in a backpack baby
So pretty
carrier thing.
stereotypical, bipolar symptom.
I mean, it didn't come to that conclusion lightly, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty, like yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So, side effects that I've experienced, honestly, the one that I hate the most is weight gain.
Same.
Like, I look at myself in my 20s and I'm like, "Oh, look at little tiny
I know what
Sarah."
you mean, yeah. It's
And
rough, especially because, like, well, for one thing, medical professionals are aware that it makes you gain weight,
yep.
but there is this discourse of, like, you have to weigh your mental health versus your physical health, and, like, you have to almost choose one or the other. Like, my doctor
Yeah.
said, um and don't get me wrong, my doctor has been super supportive, but, like, I love my doctor, but he said, because I asked him, I was like, "Well, if I stay on this medication, if I did, like," because I'm, like, lightly active, and I don't eat as badly as I used to, nowhere close. I still eat snacks and stuff, but nowhere close to as bad as I used to eat. But I was like, "Okay, what if I hardcore exercised and dieted?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Honestly, you probably wouldn't lose that much weight, if any, because of your SSRI."
Seriously?
Yes, he was very straightforward with me about it. So, yeah, and I was like,
That's so frustrating.
yeah, and that's why he said maybe doing gene site testing to see what medications, if there were medications that would have less side effects, because, I was telling him that I was super worried because heart issues and type 2 diabetes both run in my family. My
Yeah.
mother has type 2 diabetes, my grandmother had type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
and my dad has high blood pressure. Um, so I don't know, it's just something I've been very concerned about, but all of my weight gain to the point that has made me obese has been
Mhm.
since I have started taking my medications. Like,
Yeah.
I was slightly overweight before, but to reaching that realm of obese where my
Yeah.
BMI is at an unhealthy, like, massively unhealthy level, that has all been in the last 5 years since I've started taking my SSRI.
I will see you're obese and raise you a morbidly obese.
Yeah, I mean, mine is.
It's rough because,
It
like,
is.
I can this is the thing, I can lose weight, but I have no motivation whatsoever to do so.
Yeah.
Like, I just
Are you sure you can, though? Because I've been around you when you've been dieting.
no, you haven't.
Yes, I
Not when
have.
I've been really trying. You've been around me when I've been half-assing it.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah,
We've known each other for, like,
true.
10 years.
Wait, we've known each other for, so we've known each other for like 10-ish
10 years,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, um, I always start off strong if I, like, really
Mhm.
do start off strong, but, like, after I lose about 20 pounds, I just lose motivation because 'cause I'm like,
Okay,
I feel so stifled and restricted.
but in your defense, I remember when you did that thing where you paid and you
Which
had
one?
the one where you had the person that you talked to, remember? Like, the coach or whatever?
Oh,
Do you remember
no.
that one? Well, I and it was, like, exercise there were, like, certain exercises that you did and stuff, and you hit that one pretty hard, but I remember having a discussion with you where you were talking about how you plateaued, and you were like,
Mhm.
"I've been doing this and I can't like, it's not I'm not still losing weight."
Oh. Yeah, I think when I hit a plateau, I just get so discouraged
Yeah.
and I just give up. And also, like, this is my inner child speaking, but like, I need to come to grips with the fact that I'm an adult and I make my own choices regardless of the output or the
Mhm.
outcome. Output? What the heck? So, like, I'm an adult. I make my own choices regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, somewhere inside me is this foolish little girl who's like, "You can't tell me what to do. You think you can tell me what to eat? No, you cannot. I'm gonna eat whatever the heck I
Mhm.
want." And, like, I self-sabotage.
Yeah.
I really think I need to work with my therapist on that, actually,
Yeah.
because 'cause I'm closing in on a big milestone,
Oh, okay.
and I'm not interested in actually hitting a new high score like that,
Yeah. Dude, I know what you mean.
you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. For the longest time, I looked at a specific number, and I was like, "That will never happen." And, then it did, and it was like, "Well, shoot, what do I do now?"
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I will say I feel like I have tried, though, and not I haven't tried hardcore dieting. I have tried doing some lifestyle changes before where I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to, put some extra like, high fiber, high protein into my diet,"
Yeah.
like, to try to, like, make some meal changes.
Yeah.
And I feel like even when I do that long term, it doesn't really pay off.
So, one of my friends had a really insightful comment. She made a comment the other day because she was talking about GLP-1s.
Yes.
And I was like, girl, you don't need that. And she was like, no, I did because I had an unhealthy relationship with alcohol and
Mhm.
self medicated. To get over that, I used nicotine.
Yeah.
To get over that, I used food, and she's like,
Yes.
"I just had to fix my relationship with myself."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dang, that's, like, that was so profound to me,"
Yeah.
because, like, maybe I am still like, yes, I'm obviously medicated, but, there is a part of me that maybe I am still self-medicating with food, right? Because, like, what always tastes good?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I still
what
think
never
I do
lets me
that too
down?
now that I'm thinking about it. I definitely do that because, like, there'll be, like you know, how you have, like, a bad day at work and you're
Yeah.
like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go get Dairy Queen or whatever,
Yes!
not
I was
sponsored."
I was just literally, I was just gonna say, "Kim, you know how much we like ice cream, right?"
Well, yeah, it's my favorite food.
Yeah.
I forget what we were even saying.
We were talking about, like, medicine the whole thing's about
I
medicine, oh
know.
my gosh. We were talking about, like, GLP-1s and our relationship with
Oh,
food
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and, like, how we both really like ice cream and how, like, maybe if I changed my relationship with food, it would be better.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that, like, it's definitely worth exploring because I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know if
Well, obviously, I don't either.
yeah. Okay, what is our we were talking about side effects. Oh, we were briefly talking about how we have stopped medication. So, what was that like for you? Did you experience withdrawal
I
symptoms? Did
did.
you Okay.
Yeah. Well, mostly because, every time I've stopped taking medication, I've cold turkeyed it
Yeah.
and, like, just been like, "I can do this on my own. I don't need meds. I'm gonna be fine. There's nothing actually wrong with me."
Yeah.
And then, like, there's headaches, there's nausea, you ride it out, and then you're like, "I wrote it out, I'm good. Yay, I'm gonna be fine." And full disclosure, it's usually during the summer. I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
There's very little conflict in my life in the summer except with the children that live in the house with me.
Yeah.
And then I go back to work and there's stress and pressure and deadlines, and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't function."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I feel like I had the same experience. So this is the first time I have actively stopped taking medication. I did it with my like, I went and told my doctor, so I did titrate off.
You did?
I did titrate, yeah, but, it was still horrible.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously bad. Like, I had stomach upset, like, diarrhea, nausea,
Like a
headaches.
Pepto-Bismol commercial. Nausea,
Yeah,
heartburn, indigestion,
literally,
upset stomach,
exactly.
diarrhea.
And I was doing well on a 10 milligram dose for a while, and
Okay.
then when I so originally, I went down I did the 10 milligrams for a week, and then I stopped taking it, but I started getting brain zaps so bad that, like, I was having trouble functioning. Like, it was,
So
like, every couple of seconds, I was having this, like, little like, the only way I know to describe it was literally like a zap, like a little electrocution in your head, kind of.
seriously?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Okay, I've, like, never had that, so I'm
It's not very
curious.
common, I guess, I don't know.
Oh,
And so I started taking a half pill again, 10 milligrams, and I felt good for a while, and then I stopped taking it, and then I wasn't having as much brain zaps. I took the half pill again for, like, probably another 3 weeks or
oh,
something,
wow.
like, it was a while. And then I stopped taking it while I was on vacation. I, like,
Okay.
totally stopped taking the medication.
Yeah,
Because it was, like, low stress, I was like, "Well, let's give it a shot. If the brain zaps are bad, like, I'm on vacation, so it's not as big of a deal."
yeah.
And I wasn't having the brain zaps as bad. It was, like, maybe a couple a day
Oh, wow.
versus having them, like, every few seconds,
Yay.
and I felt good. And
Okay,
then the Tuesday after I came back from vacation, I had an appointment to have a cervical polyp removed,
okay.
which I realize is probably to most people not a big deal, but I've never had that done before. I didn't know what it included. I thought I was going for a consult. I didn't understand I
Oh,
was going to have the removal done in office, but I guess it's like
very
pretty
common.
typical, yeah.
Okay.
Had a conversation with the lady which the doctors were super like, they explained everything to me, like, really well, but they were kinda like, because I asked about local anesthesia, and they were kinda like, "No, no, we don't really do that." So and that was
Ah!
kind of terrifying. But anyway and honestly, it wasn't, like, super painful, there was, like, some pressure and stuff, but basically, like, because of my past, that
Yeah,
was a triggering event for me.
yeah.
And, I got triggered into a really bad depression, was, like, totally zoning out of everything, like, I just shut down my emotions, like, super apathetic. Was I was telling, my therapist that, like, that whole day after that happened, I was sending emails, like, not giving 2 craps about what I was saying, and normally I'm, like, very
You're very
professional, like, very
conscientious.
conscientious of what I say, and like, I remember sending one email and I was like, "Well, I hope that guy is fine with that." And then he like, I was joking around with my friend, I was like, "He must be married or something," because he replied back and it didn't even faze him. He was just like, "Yes, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, I felt like I was so rude. And my friend was like, no, he probably was like, "Whoa, I gotta tread carefully on this one." But yeah, it ended up being fine. But, like, I don't know, like, I didn't feel like myself. Actually went to therapy that day, and when I talked to my therapist, like, a week after that, she was like, "You had no affect." Like,
Yeah.
she was like, "Your face was very, like,
Flat.
flat," and she kept saying that she said that I kept saying that I didn't care, and I did say that a lot because I remember my husband was trying to tell me some coping skills. He was like, "Well," because I was telling him, like, I just wanna go to bed, I wanna sleep, I don't wanna do this, I just wanna, like,
Yeah.
you know,
You just
check
wanna
out."
check out and check.
Exactly. And, he was like, "Well, try using some of your coping skill, like, do this because
You're
I
like,
do, like, positive self-talk or, like, going for a walk," and I was like, "No, I don't wanna do that, like, stop bugging me about it, like, I'm not doing that." So it's not even like it's like I didn't have the motivation to do it, I had no interest to try to fix the problem, it's just like I had totally checked out of it and, like,
mhm.
was just like, "No, it's just easier to not feel my emotions right now."
Yeah.
Um, so that was kinda scary. I wouldn't say that I had gotten to a point where I was, like, wanting to check out permanently, but I felt more like that than I had felt probably in at least 3 years.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that was really scary. So I
Especially
started
now that
taking my
you're on the other
medicine
side
again.
of it
Yeah.
and you can, like, look back and be like, "Oh, snap."
Like, "Oh, I probably should stay on my yeah, I started taking my medicine again, and then I would say within a couple weeks of taking it again, I feel like the first well, maybe it was, like, a couple weeks that I felt, like, okay, and now I feel, like, more like myself again.
Yeah.
Like, whereas before I definitely was like, for that week time, I definitely was
Not
100% checking out.
see, and that's one of those things where, like, sometimes I feel resentful that I have to take meds to be myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's kinda what I was talking about a minute ago,
Yeah.
doesn't it I don't know, it just does suck. It's like, I will tell myself that I know you and I have talked about this not on the podcast, but just privately of, like, "Why do I have to take meds to be normal?" or whatever.
Yeah, or,
It's
like,
like
to feel like myself. Like,
yeah,
I why can I not feel like myself unless I have some type of medication in my
yeah.
system?
Like, why won't my brain not work correctly?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It is a sucky thing to have to face. And I know I've had that conversation with my doctor and my therapist as well. They're of them saying, like, if you have to be on medication for the rest of your life, there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
It's just what you need to be able to function. Kinda like you were talking about the insulin conversation, like the
Yeah.
exact same thing. Like you wouldn't begrudge somebody their
Insulin.
insulin because that's what they need to live.
Right. Yeah. Which then also kind of ties into our final question here. Like, have the people around you been supportive of you taking medication?
Yeah, I would say yeah. My husband has always been very supportive of whatever I wanted to like, he was supportive of when I wanted to try to get off of it, and then he has always been supportive of me taking it if that's what I felt like I needed to do. He's always been super supportive of me going to therapy too. I know you have always been supportive of like, a supportive friend for that, and honestly, most of my friends that's kinda funny to think about. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but, like, most of the people that I'm friends with also have some kind of, like, mental health
Neurodiversity.
yeah, like, some kind of, like yeah,
Hmm.
exactly, or, like, slightly neurospicy, and, but I think that is probably why we are attracted to being friends with them in the first place is because,
Yeah.
we have some of the same challenges.
I have some friends who are neurospicy and I have some friends who are neurotypical. And I will say, like, my neurotypical friends don't understand, but they notice a
Really?
difference
Okay.
when I'm not feeling like myself. Like, my husband is neurotypical.
Yeah.
Well, my husband does not have mental health issues in the way that I do. He's got some fun ADHD stuff going on, so I
Yeah.
guess we can't completely call him neurotypical, but, yeah, so my husband used to drive me crazy because if I was in a bad mood, the first thing he would say was, "Have you taken your meds today?" And I'd be like, "It's not
Yeah.
just my meds." Like,
No.
I am allowed to be in a bad mood, but
Sometimes that
also
just
9
happens.
times out of 10, I wouldn't have taken my meds, and hence his questioning.
Yeah. But a lot of time medication doesn't work. It's not like a 24-hour thing. Like, it does take time for it to build up and get out of your system. So one
I
day.
mean, I may have not always been very vigilant about taking it,
Right. Oh,
but
so you were not taking it for multiple days in a row.
so I would be like, "Yeah, I can do this," and then
Okay.
yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh,
And
are
then he would be
you taking
like,
a med
"Have you taken your meds
vacation?"
recently?" And then I would be like,
"Shut up, stop asking me about this."
"Shut up, I haven't, but that's none of your business." And he'd be
Yeah.
like, "Well, I have to
"Don't
try
tell
to."
me what to do."
Yes.
I get that.
So, anyways.
That's kinda funny. I know what you mean, though. I would describe my husband as fairly neurotypical, but one thing I will say, and I think this is true of literally everybody, even people who would probably think of themselves as neurotypical, or, mentally healthy, is that, and maybe we shouldn't use, I don't know what terms are the right terms to use, but, mentally healthy. I think my husband would describe himself overall as mentally healthy, but I think most people have something going on,
Sure.
like mental health wise, right? We all are struggling with things day to day. And while my husband is one of the most typically functioning people that I've ever met and most emotionally stable people that I've ever met, he even has his days where he
Sure.
is, maybe not the stablest. And then I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm dealing with my own thing. I can't deal with yours too. No, I try my best, but I'm sure sometimes it does
I
come
mean,
across
I
like that.
probably maybe said something like that, like, "We can't have 2 mentally unstable
I
people
know.
in this
It
house."
doesn't work. One of us has to be sane.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but, I know, yeah, even the people who are the strongest or seemingly the strongest are having their issues as well and their problems.
Well, everybody has problems,
Yeah,
and that's not to diminish anything, but, like, I think you can how you deal with your problems and your brain chemistry ultimately
yeah,
is what determines whether you're mentally healthy or not, right?
yeah.
And, like
Or even and that's something I will say that I think you and I do a great job of. We can maybe give ourselves a pat on the back, is, while we have our mental health challenges, we are aware of them, and we tend to self-analyze to try to
to
fix, not necessarily fix the problem, but try to accommodate whatever we need to accommodate to be the best person that we can be. We're
see,
always trying our best, I
we
guess.
okay, I can agree with you that we're always trying our best. I will say, like, sometimes that for me is a negative because I overthink, I overanalyze, I
Oh,
get
I
in
do it
my
too,
head,
yeah.
but
Don't ask my therapist about that, she says that all the time. She's like, "Are you maybe just overthinking this?" Like, "Yeah, probably."
nobody's ever accused me of being an underthinker.
But I would say,
I overachieve in all ways.
wouldn't you say it's better to be aware so that you can do something about it than to, for example, have some kind of trauma hangups or mental health hangups that then you express through negative intent towards others or something like that? Like maybe you are trying your best, but you kind of that thing we were talking about, like when you know better, you do better.
Maybe.
So we're trying our best to know better.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Yeah. Well, I think we can give ourselves a pat on the back for that.
We try.
We're really hard on
We
ourselves.
are
I
hard
think
on
that's one of
ourselves
the things we
sometimes,
can.
but I think you're right. We do try our hardest.
Yeah.
9 days out of 10.
Yes.
That
I don't know
seems
what
like a
you're
good
talking about. I try my hardest 10 days out of 10. I'm not saying that it's always it always works.
Oh, I there are some days when I'm just like, today is not my day, and I'm just gonna call it.
Oh man, I feel like I am at a 10 out of 10, but I might have the best intentions and the worst possible execution of whatever it is.
Oh, it's all good, it's all good. This seems like a good place to wrap.
It does seem like a good place to wrap. So anyway, drugs.
So drugs, keeping us mentally stable for at
We
least a
do
couple
drug
of
no, I'm just
decades.
kidding. Go drugs.
Oh gosh, Kim. Well, that's it for this episode of Having a Mentee Bee with Sarah and Kim. We wish you good mental health, and we hope you'll meet us here again next time. Don't forget to like or subscribe or leave a positive review or whatever it is you do for podcasts.
We hope you have heard something in this episode that you have connected with and you've been mildly entertained. If you are dealing with your own mental health challenges, we both encourage you to reach out to a trusted provider or call or text 988.